In this video, you will learn how to use modifiers and what are they used for. So the first thing we should do is to have a mesh. So I went to Fusion and created the mesh. After that, I imported it into Bambu Studio. And in Bambu Studio, you can right click on the model to access the modifier. So right click and you go to add modifiers, and you have different shapes. You have a cylinder, you have a cube, and you have all kinds of different shapes. We're going to use the cylinder because our model looks like this. This is how you know what you need. So basically, if your model is generally more of a cube, you use a cube. If it's generally more of a cylinder, you use a cylinder. And basically you can move it and scale it, modify it however you want. The modifier is what gives you control over the mesh. Let's say, for example, this is a pot, and the pot needs to be heavy from the bottom so it doesn't topple. So what do? You move the modifier to the bottom, go to the object section, and then you move down to the strength. In the strength section, you select the infill of the modifier to be 80%. What does that mean? In the global settings, it's 15% for the entire model, but in the section where it's covered by the modifier, it is 80%. So this will make it more heavier at the bottom, and this will also reduce your amount of filament that you use. Instead of printing the entire thing with 80%, you only print the part that needs to be heavy with 80%, which is like hitting two birds with one stone. And now for the people who learn visually, I have 3D printed the model. I'm going to cut it and show you how the infill differs from one part to the other, and this will also help it not topple. If you're learning from this type of content and the way I explain things, make sure to subscribe, because that's the only way for me to know that I'm explaining things in a good way. So after cutting the pot, if you notice that over here you have almost like 15% or less infill, whereas here, this is the bottom, it is where it has all of the infill. So this is the power of modifiers. Now another example that can be used for the modifier is using a fuzzy skin. So basically anything, most of the things that applies to a normal object applies to a modifier. So for example, let's say we can take the example of a fuzzy skin. So instead of in Fusion modeling lines on your mesh, you can just duplicate, copy and paste the modifier that you have, and then move it to a specific place where you want the fuzzy skin to be, and then apply the fuzzy skin over there. You can do that by going to the other section, going down to the bottom and selecting fuzzy skin contour only. So this will allow you to only do the contour or the outer side of the mesh that you have. So instead of like modeling the fuzzy skin on different parts or the entire thing to be fuzzy skin, you can just select sections and bits that can be fuzzy skin. This will also give a good texture instead of it being just boring layer lines on top of each other. With that said, I have showed you two examples of how to use modifiers. There are endless ways to use modifiers. I would like to know that in the comment section below, if you have crazy ways of using modifiers that you would benefit of it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.